Hey guys, it's Miss Clausen, back to read with you guys again. So we left off on chapter 5, so we're just gonna pick right up and get into it. So chapter 5. Want a cookie? It has M&Ms in it, Stella. Do you like M&Ms? I'm in the middle of drawing sea creatures during class, but I immediately stop what I'm doing to consider the question. Ooh, I do like M&Ms, I think. I look up, dropping my pink-colored pencil. It's Stanley Mason. He's holding a box full of cookies. It's been a few weeks and I've managed not to speak to him once since falling down on his first day of class. I've just been too embarrassed. Even so, it's impolite to refuse a cookie, so I nod and grab one. My hand is shaking as I take a bite. My mom made them for my birthday, Stanley grins widely. I notice he has a gap in between his front two teeth. So there's Stella and Stanley. Oh, happy birthday, I mumble. As I chew, I notice a little cookie crumbs and spit fall all over my shirt. I cover my mouth with my hand so I don't look like a total disaster. Thanks, Stella. What are you drawing? I shake my head no. I use my cookie-free hand to flip over my drawing. I was trying to draw a blobfish, but it just looks like a pink mess. This will not be the first thing Stanley sees me draw. I only let people look at my drawings when they're perfect. There's a blobfish. Okay, he says with a frown. I'm surprised. Why would he care? It's not like he wants to be friends with a klutz like me. I feel a little bad, so I mumble, thank you for the cookie, with my hand over my mouth again. Stanley looks happy. He opens his mouth as if he is about to say something else. Luckily, Miss Bell says, everyone sit down. Stanley, come sit by us, says Jessica Anderson, while Ben Shaw and Chris Pollard wave him over. I watch Stanley take his seat next to them. My mouth drops open. I'm amazed. In just a couple of weeks, he fits in already. I just don't get it. Stanley also has not once looked sad or scared, not even for a second. If I had moved to a new city and school, I'd be terrified. Miss Bell continues, in just a little bit, we're going to have a special ceremony for Don. Now everyone knows Don, right? Don's the coolest, says Ben Shaw. Everyone agrees. Don, the school custodian, is always singing fun Beach Boys songs while he's cleaning. He also plays the craziest characters in the school plays, like Santa Claus in our holiday musical. Well, Don just became an American citizen, which is really hard. You have to take a big test, not to mention all the years of waiting. Jessica Anderson asks, what was he before? Miss Bell goes up to the board. She writes a bunch of words I haven't heard before. In big letters, I see visa, alien, resident, and citizen. Great question. There are a few categories. Some people just come to visit. They get a piece of paper called a visa so they can stay a while. Don't you buy things with a visa, says Jessica. I lock eyes with her for a second, then quickly look away. Although I've been in the same class with Jessica since first grade, she makes me nervous. Everyone likes her, but I think she can be mean sometimes. Like when she laughed at me on the first day of class for saying words wrong. Then another time in first grade, she told everyone in our class that I had lice. Everyone believed her except for Jenny. The teacher even made me see the school nurse, and of course, I didn't have lice. Afterward, Jessica said she was sorry, but I never quite believed her. Miss Bell chuckles. Yes, you do, but that's a different visa. For instance, people who come here for college get a student visa so they can stay here the entire time they're going to school. Then they are residents or legal aliens. They have green cards. They can stay here as long as they want, but they don't have as many rights as citizens. My mouth drops open. I only have a green card. I know because Mom showed it to me when we got it in the mail. I was surprised that it wasn't green at all. I don't know too much about how we got it. I remember Mom was really stressed about it. I also remember waiting in line forever. The only part that was fun was getting our fingerprints done. Oh, and taking bunches of pictures for it. But still, because of this green card, I'm an alien? Miss Bell continues. After you've been a resident for a while, you can apply to be a citizen. Then you can vote and be on a jury. You can even run for office. What if you were born here, asked Michelle. Then you're already a citizen, a natural citizen. I gulp again. This explains everything. I'm an alien. Since Don works so hard for us, we're going to surprise him with a celebration in the cafeteria. Miss Bell continues. We're all going to go quietly and sit in the dark until Dawn arrives. Then we'll turn on the lights, stand up, and sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Don't worry, we'll have a projector with the words for you to sing along with. If you guys do well, there might be cake. Everyone squeals but me. I always thought I was different, that I didn't really belong, but now it's official. I start picturing all the aliens I've seen in movies, trying to find one that isn't so strange. If I could picture only one cute alien, I might feel better about the word. Instead, as we head out to the cafeteria, I picture all the spiny, crawly, deadly aliens, the ones that people run away from. So there's some aliens that she's picturing. Okay. When we arrive, I notice the orchestra is on stage. There are also some banners that read, "Way to go" and "Congrats." Because the whole school is there, I'm able to sit next to Jenny. I feel calmer when I see her, except she's not alone. She's sitting next to a girl I've never seen before. The new girl has bangs that go across her forehead and is wearing neat red glasses. My heart sinks a little. I want to tell Jenny the bad news that I'm an alien, but I can't. Not in front of the new girl. "Stella, this is Anna," says Jenny. "Hi, Stella," Anna says, waving. I make myself wave back. "Did you guys know about the ceremony?" I ask in a low voice. "What did she say?" asked Anna, looking at Jenny. "Stella asked if we knew about the ceremony," says Jenny. Jenny can always understand me. It's been that way since we became best friends in first grade. Never have I ever had to repeat anything to her once. They turn and both nod at me. There is a long silence. There's so much I want to say to Jenny, but I can't. Even if Anna weren't there, it would be too embarrassing to say out loud. Just then the school nurse walks by and says, "Here you go, girls." She gives us small flags to hold. A minute later, the cafeteria goes dark. The whole group giggles for a second and the teachers hush us. We wait in silence. Finally, we hear Dawn walking in, saying, "What's going on?" The lights turn on and we stand up to sing. While we're singing, I can't help but still feel a little weird, like I shouldn't be allowed to sing. I wouldn't be an alien if I were still living in Mexico. I'd be natural there. As soon as the music ends, Dawn says, "Thank you, this means so much. I left the Philippines for a better life in the United States. I'm honored to be an American." Dawn looks happy. He's even crying a little bit. I guess it's because he's no longer an alien. Everyone applauds right away except for me. It takes me a second, but I know it would be wrong if I didn't applaud, so I force myself to lift up my hands and hit them together. Although I might feel bad, I'm still happy for Dawn, and it's his big day. As we clap, my mind wonders, if I become a citizen, will I finally feel normal? Will I be as happy as Dawn looks? That makes me feel a little hopeful. The cake that Miss Bell promised after the ceremony also helps. So that's the end of chapter 5, so let's chat about it. So, chapter 5 is I'm an Alien. So in chapter 5, Stella attends a ceremony celebrating her caretaker's new citizenship. Why does this further make her feel like she doesn't belong? So let us just talk about that. So why would that make her feel like she doesn't belong? Along with all the other things that make her feel like she doesn't belong. Why would having that ceremony and learning all of those new words make her feel like she doesn't belong? So take a minute, think about it, pause the video, write down your answer, or do whatever you need to do. I think it makes her feel like she doesn't belong because I think maybe she took the word alien the wrong way. Like, it doesn't mean an actual, like, alien, like E.T., but it means, like, you know, how they explained it, and, like, it's just a word that they use. So I think that she just interpreted it wrong, but it would still kind of make me feel a little weird, too, like, you know, so I think that she just feels like she doesn't belong because she only has her green card, so she's not, like, an American citizen quite yet. But, you know, I think that, I mean, there are a lot of people that don't have their citizenships here, so she shouldn't feel alone in that. And it doesn't make you a bad person or anything like that at all, so I don't think that she should feel bad about herself at all. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about that, what you guys think about it. So, all right, so let's move on to, excuse me, I'm trying to teach. Are you okay? Sorry, he's interrupting me. Okay, so we're gonna move on to chapter 6. So, chapter 6. Once a week, I leave my regular class for speech class. Speech is where I learn to speak properly. This means how all the letters and words are supposed to sound in English. At least that's what my teacher, Miss Thompson, says. "Good morning, Stella," Miss Thompson says as I enter the room. Miss Thompson is seated at the center of a bean-shaped table in a small room. As usual, she is dressed like a ballet teacher in a black turtleneck with her red hair pulled back in a bun. Good morning, Miss Thompson, I say as I hesitantly sit across from her. How's your dad doing? Good, I say, looking down while tapping my fingers on the table. When I first started seeing Miss Thompson, she would come over to our apartment for after-school lessons. This was when I was in kindergarten. Dad would be home during the lessons because Mom worked. Miss Thompson got along really well with Dad. He's very likable. He can always make people laugh, even if they can't quite understand what he says all the time. Dad speaks English worse than I do. He even talked to Miss Thompson about taking speech classes to improve his pronunciation, but it never happened. Back then, my parents had just divorced and Dad still lived in Chicago. He had a job, but it was only part-time at a karaoke store that his friend owned. When I asked him what he did there, he said that he kept inventory of the machines they sold. I don't know what that means, but I do know that when absolutely no one else was in the store, I'd sing while he stared at the computer. He didn't work there long, though. Dad has never been good at keeping jobs. He lived in his own tiny apartment then. It was the size of my room with a kitchen. Is he still in Colorado? Yes, I say, grabbing my cheeks with my hands. They feel warm. A couple of years ago, Dad's brother, my Tio Carlos, gave Dad a job at the store in Colorado. Now Dad lives in his own house and goes skiing almost every day in winter. I know because he shows me pictures he takes with his professional camera. Is your dad visiting for the holidays, she asks. I shake my head no. Too bad. It would be good for you two to be together, she says. I sigh. I can never tell her what I really think, like I don't want my parents to get back together, or that I don't really miss my dad. It would sound mean. But why should I? All they did was argue about secret grown-up things. What the grown-up things were about, I don't know. But I do know it made Mom sad, which is not good at all. Nick tells me he'll explain to me when I'm older. And I don't really miss Dad because he never keeps his promises. When he still lived in Chicago, he promised to teach me how to ride a bike, but he never did. He'd also forget to pick up Nick and me from school half the time, especially when he got a new girlfriend. Walking home in the snow with a heavy backpack is never fun. Now when it comes to my birthday, I just get free things from my uncle's store. If I ask my dad for anything, even a book, it never comes. See, I say, hoping a short answer will make the conversation end. I just wish she would stop asking so many questions. No Spanish right now, Stella. She always says that when I accidentally say a word in Spanish. It's not like I even speak that much anyway, I mutter. What's that, Stella? Make sure to enunciate. She lifts her hand to her mouth. Nothing, I say. I hope that was clear enough. Just then, the other students, Janelle and Roman, walk into the room. Finally, a break for me. I scribble swirls on my notebook page as she asks them how they're doing. Roman talks for a while. He is all excited that his family is going back home to Russia for the holidays. Roman is always jazzed to talk since he just graduated from ESL class to regular classes. We begin today's session like we normally do, with mouth exercises. We puff our cheeks like pufferfish and follow that with deep breathing. That's to make sure we're speaking from our stomachs. So there's the pufferfish. Then we practice our th and busy B's over and over. Since day one, Miss Thompson has been correcting my pronunciations using a bag full of flashcards that have pictures of clowns, bees, and other things. I remember it took a really long time for her to agree that I was saying three and tree differently. From then, we go through the alphabet, which isn't too bad, even though there are a couple of letters like the vowels that sound different in Spanish. For good measure, she says, I do well except for V and B. It's been 3 years and she still doesn't like how I say V and B. Despite how annoying it can be, speech class can also be a little escape. I get to leave my class and be in a small, quiet room with just 2 other kids. It's especially good now since I keep turning Rojo around Stanley. The other day he asked me what time it was. I was so surprised I spilled my bucket of colored pencils on the floor. After the alphabet, we practice big words. Stella, can you say refrigerator? Miss Thompson asks. I nod and stare at her. I say refrigerator. Good, Stella. Maybe just a little louder next time. I groan. People are always telling me to speak up. I can never really figure out why. It sounds loud in my head. Janelle, can you say refrigerator? Janelle says a word I don't recognize. At least I sound better than her, I think. Then I feel a little bad. Janelle gets made fun of by some of the other kids at school. She has a lisp which makes everything she says hard to understand. She always sounds like she's eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Despite everything, Janelle is still really friendly and kind. So there they all are. I always try to be extra nice to her in speech and wave to her at recess. I look up at the clock. Only 30 minutes left. Good. I'm really excited to get back to class today. We're going to play math games and see who can add, subtract, and multiply the fastest. I'm really good at it, and it's the only time I like Miss Bell calling me in front of the class. I love showing people that I'm smart whenever I can. Numbers are also easy to say, not like letters. Whenever I hear someone spell a word out loud, my brain goes weird. It slows down like the gears on a rusty bike. I worry people think I look stupid, which I hate. After we practice other big words like conditioner and computer, Miss Thompson sends us back to class. Before you go, here's a treat for working so hard. Miss Thompson gives us stickers when we do a good job. They are excellent stickers. Sometimes, if we do really well, she even has the ones that you can scratch and sniff. I have a binder filled with them at home. When I look at it or think of my binder, I feel a little better about Miss Thompson. Each sticker shows how much I've improved my speech, all because of her. I get 2 scratch and sniff stickers today, a strawberry one and a grape one for my collection. Thank you, Miss Thompson, I say, looking her in the eyes. You're welcome, my dear, she says, looking back. I smell my stickers as I leave the room. I race back from speech to find Miss Bell standing in front of the class. Everyone is in a new seat. She mixes us around when we're playing math games so we can play against new students. Perfect timing, Stella. We're about to start. She points to an empty chair. Why don't you take a seat at the table with Jessica Anderson and Ben Shaw? I walk over to the table and try to sit down, but Jessica won't move over. I clear my throat, hoping she'll take the hint. I want to say something to Jessica, but I'm afraid she'll say something mean. Ben finally moves over to make space for me. I like Ben. He's so easygoing. He just likes making everyone laugh. Miss Bell looks at Stanley and says, Now, Stanley, this is your first time, so just try to do your best. Everyone else, you know the drill. Stanley says, Yes, ma'am. Miss Bell laughs. What good manners you have, Stanley. There's a gold whistle around Miss Bell's neck that she blows to start each round. At the beginning of each round, she turns over a card with a math problem. Miss Bell says we're playing spelling bee style. I'll have to take her word for it since I've never done a spelling bee before. Whoever gets the answer right goes to the next round until there are only 2 players left. The questions start really easy, like 2 plus 2 equals 4. But then they get way harder towards the end. Ready? Miss Bell blows the whistle. A few kids get knocked out right away, but I get all the answers correct. I feel proud that everyone can see that I'm smart. Before I know it, I'm at the last round. It's me, Michelle, and Stanley. I'm stunned. Michelle is always good at math, but Stanley? I didn't expect Stanley to be this good at math. As Michelle sits down, I start to feel a little nervous. It's now Stanley Mason with me in the last round. Everyone is cheering for Stanley. Go Stanley, Jessica says. Miss Bell grabs the last flashcard and asks us if we're ready. I nod my head yes. Focus, I say to myself. Stanley grins at me and says, I'm ready. I feel rojo again and turn my head to Miss Bell. She flips the card. It's 4 times 7. 28, I think, but I can't talk. I'm trying so hard to get the words out, but my mouth is too dry. I even try puffing up my cheeks like we do in speech class, but nothing is working. My mouth only feels drier. There she is. Then I hear Stanley pipe up. 28. Miss Bell says, correct. You're the winner, Stanley. Way to go, Stanley, the class cheers. I just cover my rojo face with my hands. This is a new low. I couldn't even say numbers today. So that's the end of chapter 6. And we might move on to chapter 8. We'll have to see how much time we have left. Or to chapter 7. So chapter 6, put yourself in Stella's shoes. In chapter 6, Stella goes to her English learning class to practice her English. At times, learning a new language can be very frustrating. Put yourself in Stella's shoes. How might it feel learning a new language? So I want you guys to kind of take some time to think about that so you can pause it again and just think about it. I think learning a new language is really hard. Even like reading some of the words in the book is really, really difficult for me because I don't really know Spanish that well. I've only heard it like with my friends or with some colleagues and stuff like that. Or like with you guys at school, try to teach me some Spanish words too. So it's kind of hard because I don't really know Spanish, obviously, from my reading. Some of you guys might make fun of me for that, but so that's kind of been difficult. But how might you guys feel learning a new language? It might be kind of difficult. So just think about it. I want to hear what you guys think, if you guys think it would be easy or hard learning a new language. So let us do chapter 7 real quick. Okay, so chapter 7. Nick has started basketball practice in the morning, so Mom drops me off at school now. I miss walking with Nick, but I love riding in the car with Mom. She always plays salsa music. We even dance in the car a little bit before school. All right, here's some Spanish words that I'm going to get wrong. So, que tengas un bien día. Hopefully you guys got that. She says, passing me my backpack and kissing me on the cheek. And you have the greatest day too, I reply. She hugs me super tight before I hop out of the car. As I enter the school, I can still smell Mom's perfume, which makes me feel cozy and safe. It's almost like I'm wearing her fresh laundry and lavender scent, like I'm a sophisticated grown-up. Then I notice Stanley out of the corner of my eye. Immediately, I start feeling rojo. I begin to power walk toward the front door, but Stanley apparently is also a fast walker, so I do the only thing I can think of. I run into the school office. Do you need anything, Stella? Asked Miss Green with a raised eyebrow. She's standing behind the front desk. Nothing, just wanted to say hi. I smile while peeking out the window of the office. Oh, how sweet. Good morning, she replies. She reaches into a jar. Here, take a lollipop, Stella. Thanks, I say, grabbing a cherry lollipop from her hands. I check the window again. The coast is clear, so I say goodbye. Thankfully, we start with sustained reading in class. This means I can hide from Stanley and everyone else with a book in front of my face. I'm more mortified than usual. I'm used to the rest of the class thinking I'm odd, but from the way I've been acting, Stanley must think I'm the weirdest klutz ever. I take a small break from fishes to read about a biography about Jacques Cousteau. As interesting as Mr. Cousteau is, and trust me, he is, he invented the aqua lung, the portable breathing device that scuba divers use. I keep thinking about Stanley, only a little bit. I just don't know what to say to someone who is the best at everything. He's a fast runner. He can balance a spoon on his nose at lunch. He can play the drums in music class. He's new and has already made so many friends. I've been here forever and I only have Jenny, and she's not even in my class. It's almost as if he has superpowers, magic, or is just really lucky. Whatever it is, I wish I could steal some. Then everything would just be so much easier. Fortunately, I don't have much time to think because after sustained reading, we head to gym class with Coach Smith, who announces that we will be playing kickball. Boys versus girls, he says with his loud voice. His big voice matches his size. Coach Smith is the tallest person I know. In kindergarten, all I could see was his freckly knees when I was sitting crisscross applesauce style on the ground. Chop chop, he says, clapping his giant hands. The class divides up, with the boys on one side and the girls on the other. The girls decide that Michelle should be the team captain. Everyone knows that she'd be the best since she plays sports outside of school. Then we decide what order to go in. Michelle says, Stella's really good at running. She should go first. It's true. Every gym class we have to run laps around the gym. Coach Smith always puts on fun music to run to. When Jenny and I were in the same class, we would sing along, which slowed us down. Now that Jenny's in a different class, I just run quietly. Turns out I can run faster than most of the girls and a couple of the boys. I nod and smile at Michelle. I find that if I at least smile, people think that I'm nice and I don't really have to talk. As the game starts, I'm excited to get up to the plate, but then I see Stanley. He's the pitcher for the boys' team. I freeze and miss the ball when Stanley throws it at me. The girls moan. Michelle yells, just kick, Stella. Then Jessica Anderson shouts, Stella stares, Stella stares. Everyone else starts saying it too. After 3 misses, I sit down on the grass by myself. I wish everyone could find the magic words to... I wish I could find the magic words to say to make everyone stop. There's her trying to kick the ball. That's Stanley. When we get back to class, I stay by myself and rest my head on my desk. It's almost lunchtime. At least there'll be a break from this tough day. Class, before you go to lunch, Miss Bell says, standing up, I want to introduce a new ongoing project. It's on animals. You can choose any animal or favorite type of animal you want to research. Make sure it's an animal you really enjoy because we'll be working on this until the spring. I lift my head. I know exactly what I'm going to do. We can talk about it more after lunch, but here's a handout for now, she says as she walks As she walks around to pass out the handout with details, everyone starts talking about ideas for their projects. I'm going to do bears, says Ben. You know, because of the circus bears. There's one of the circus bears. I'm doing birds, says Lauren, who smiles at me. Lauren is quiet like me. Sometimes we talk about Nancy Drew books. Jessica Anderson asks, "What are you going to do, Stella?" Her ponytail is swinging from side to side. I nervously reply, "Fishes." Makes sense, she whispers. Fish don't talk, they just stare. I groan and cover my face. Could this day get any worse? I'm so happy to see Jenny at lunch. I'm also glad to see that she's alone and not with Anna. Thank goodness. Because I need my best friend, especially on a day like today. We each bring our lunch, so we sit together right away. I tell her what happened during kickball. Jessica Anderson said I never speak and that I just stare, and then everyone started saying it. You talk plenty around me, Jenny says as she takes a bite of her Vietnamese sandwich. Vietnamese sandwiches are very yummy. They're made of soft French rolls with vegetables, tofu or meat, and mayo. Jenny brings me one sometimes for lunch. I know, I say, offering her a Jamaica stick. Jamaica, no, that does not say Jamaica. Okay, restart. I say, offering her a jicama stick. Jicama? I think that's right. Jicama is sort of like a potato and watermelon mixed together, and it isn't very sweet. We squeeze a little bit of limon on it, and it is the sweet spicy powder called picosito, I think. Jenny grabs one and takes the world's smallest bite. Jenny likes seeing how many bites she can make in one carrot stick and other types of food. She's up to 37 in one carrot and 52 bites in a pretzel. Maybe we can write a whole list of things you can say, Jenny suggests after she takes another tiny bite of her jicama stick. Like, I'm glad the sun is out, I say, or that's a nice outfit. My mom says everyone likes a compliment. Totally. We can work on it on the playground during our recess. I've got my trusty journal, Jenny says. Jenny's journal has a big white tiger with sparkles on the cover. If she were still in my class, she would have done her animal project on tigers. Instead, her class is doing different countries for their long project. Of course, Jenny chose Vietnam. She went to Vietnam last summer for a family reunion. She brought me back chopsticks and slippers. I promised her next time I went to Mexico, I'd bring her something special like an albrije, which is a little sculpture of an imaginary animal. They are simply beautiful, with all different patterns and colors. During recess, we make a whole list of things I can say until we get bored. I slump over as I look at the list. Jenny, I don't know if this will help. It might. Jenny stands up and brings her fingers to her forehead. She has an idea. She lifts her arms into the air, spreads her fingers wide, and says, I know, you can use the power of deduction. What? I can't even say the word. There are too many letters. Deduction. It's something Sherlock Holmes says. Anyway, it's just asking questions. People love questions. You can ask them about their day or what they're doing. Then you'll know more about them, which means it'll be easier to talk to them. It's like your own personal game of 20 questions. Maybe. Sounds easier said than done. She grabs my hand. Come on, let's go to the swings. We sit in the swings and go as high as we can. Afterward, Jenny hangs upside down from the jungle gym while I just sit on top of it. Jenny is really brave and can do flips. I'm always too scared that I'll fall. She always looks so funny with her super straight black hair hanging upside down. Come on, let's practice. Ask me questions, says Jenny as she pulls herself right side up again. I draw a blank, so I ask an easy one. Do you like dogs or cats? Stella, you know it's cats. Ask me a harder one, she says, lowering herself off the monkey bars. Presto, I have a good one. Who is Sherlock Holmes? Excellent one, Stella, she says, jumping onto the balance bars. Jenny then starts telling me all about Sherlock Holmes, how he's a famous detective from a series of books, and how she recently watched part of the Sherlock Holmes movie at her cousin's house. From there, it's so easy coming up with more questions to ask Jenny, like about her cousins and what they do together. But then again, it's always easy to talk to Jenny. Even though I'm getting the hang of it, it's no mystery that what I really need is Jenny in my class. Alright, that's the end of chapter 7. So I'll get my little book down here. So chapter 7 is Stella's Stairs. So in chapter 7, some of the kids in Stella's class start chanting Stella's Stairs, which is not very nice. Words can hurt. So what I want you guys to do is kind of think of a time where maybe you said something to somebody that hurt their feelings, or maybe where somebody said something to you that hurt your feelings. So I just want you guys to kind of think about it. You can pause it and think about it and write it down and send it to me, or do whatever you want to do. But just think about it, because words can hurt. Even though there's that saying about like rocks and sticks, and words can never hurt me, or whatever. Oh, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's the same. But words can still hurt. I mean, words hurt me. Like when people call me like short, I know I'm short, it's a fact, but still, I know I'm short. You don't have to tell me that I'm short. So sometimes people make fun of me for my size, and it can hurt my feelings sometimes, but I've kind of learned to just roll it off my shoulders and get over it. But just, you guys just think about that, and just think about the chapters that we've read today. I hope you guys enjoyed them, and we will pick back up with chapter 8. So I'll see you guys in the next one.